Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. We made it. The weekend is here. And then we can all take a big collective breath because things have been somewhat resolved from all the anxieties this week. So, thank you for joining me, rolling out your mats. If you didn't see in the chat, if you have a block or a paper towel roll or a water bottle, something, just grab it and have it handy at your mat for our practice this morning. We're gonna use our props. So thank you again for showing up on your mat in your space. As always, these Saturday morning practices are just here for you and whatever you need to kind of recoup from your week. So if you've not practiced with me before, my name's Jaime. This morning, our practice is really just about grounding and really kind of focusing in on what the body's doing to let the mind tune out a bit. I don't know about the rest of you, but that's definitely what I've been needing this week. Just a lot of kind of weird anxiety and energy. And so to kind of ground down, feel connected to the floor, to your mat, and really focus in on breath and movement to let the mind tune out. Can be a nice little pause from what's happening in the world. So with that, we're going to get started laying down, or no, sorry, we're getting started seated this morning. Went into autopilot mode. So if you know that you don't like to sit for long periods or it's uncomfortable, you can grab a blanket, prop up the hips a bit. If you're fine, then just coming to a comfortable seat, making it a seat that feels good, that you can kind of be in and breathe in for a little bit. And we're just going to let the palms come down to the knees. So if you're needing that kind of grounding energy or force this morning, having palms face down. If you're feeling fairly grounded and comfortable, you can flip the palms to the sky to kind of create this openness in setting an intention for our practice this morning. So you choose, maybe you do one way and one the other if you're not sure where you're at this morning, and that's okay. But just settling in, allowing the eyes to close or gaze to drift to the floor. We're going to start by taking a nice big inhale. And then opening the mouth, letting all that air out. And we're going to take a couple breaths just like this. So finding that nice big inhale and then breathing it all out. And taking as many of those breaths as you need to settle into the space, settle into this moment. And just starting to let the thoughts and the mind turn a bit inward. Allowing the body to root down through the hips and the sit bones. Just feeling really solid here in this shape and this space. And just taking some time to really kind of focus in on that movement of breath in the body. Spending a little time, but not too much, on kind of sorting out your feelings or emotions or things that have been weighing on you. This has been a fairly tumultuous week with the election and all the things going on. So just taking a moment to kind of breathe out some of those things. Creating a little space in the mind for what you might need this morning, this little moment of recharge or recenter. We're going to be here for just a couple more breaths, focusing in on that breath, settling in to an intention or focus that you might need for your practice this morning. This is also the time that I'll just invite you to really honor what you're needing. Um, so just making sure that if you're needing a little more stillness, a little more quiet, giving space for that to happen. If you're needing a little more dance party, giving space for that to happen. One more breath here in this stillness. We'll start to blink the eyes open. Hands on knees, we're going to make sure the palms are facing down. We're just going to start to find a little cat-cow in this seated shape. So inhale, heart presses forward, a little arch of the back. Head might lift. And then exhale, rounding the back, founding that kind of like couch slouch. Chin tucks in towards the chest. We'll move through these a couple times here. So inhale finds that lift of the heart. Exhale, rounds out the back. Moving through these shapes with the pace that makes sense. Maybe you add extra movement. Maybe you start to get into a little bit of these torso rolls, rolling side to side, lifting that heart as you come forward, rounding that back as you move back. And if you're finding these torso rolls, just making sure that at one point you flip it and reverse it, head the other direction. Taking time to feel all those little spaces and places that might be holding tension or feeling kind of stuck. Wherever you're at, we're just going to make our way right back to center. So firmly on the sit bones, crown of the head reaching up towards the sky. We're going to take a nice big reach of the arms out and up. Pulling those elbows apart, our first little virtual high fives of the morning. This morning, I definitely need the high five, so send them my way. And then nice big reach, hands to the sky. Pressing the palms together, hands to heart center. We're going to take another nice big inhale, reaching those arms up. And just pausing here for a moment. So fingertips are reaching up. Sit bones are still firmly planted down into the mat. So really lengthening through the whole body. I think Mickey describes this as hanging onto monkey bars, really feeling that long line. So maybe you imagine that you're hanging from the monkey bars this morning. And then we're going to start to just send the arms out, finding this little bit of a V shape. And then we're going to start to round the back, hugging the arms around the body, finding that little bit of cat shape, and then opening it right back up. And then wrapping the arms again, switching which arm is on top, and then opening it up. We're going to move through this a couple more times here, alternating arms. Just kind of feeling the movement, feeling that motion. I don't know about the rest of you, but this week I've definitely had to kind of honor the things that I'm willing to open up to and the things that maybe I need to stay closed. Sometimes we need to have that awareness to keep our sanity, to find that little moment of self-care or just moments of calm. One more time, finding that wrap of the arms. One more big reach, pulling those arms apart, We'll find that cactus arm shape. One more little high five moment. Nice big reach, hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're gonna make our way over into table. So taking a moment to get set up, again, coming back to this idea of being rooted or grounded in the shapes that we're in this morning. So making sure the hands and the knees and the shins are all feeling connected here. Wrists below shoulders, knees below the hips. We'll take just a couple rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, drops the belly, lifts the heart. Exhale, rounding the back. Moving through these shapes a few times here. Again, giving space for extra movement if you need it. Next time that we round into cat, we're gonna pause there for just a breath. And then we're gonna start to send the hips back towards the heels, settling into this child's pose. So this is your first and formal invitation to settle into this shape. Anytime that you need it, maybe you need to just hang out here this morning, and that's okay. It's here for you at any moment during our practice. We'll press it right back up, coming back into our table. So finding that nice, strong tabletop, making sure the crown of the head's reaching forward. A lot of times we get distracted by what our legs are doing, and then our head becomes decapitated. So keeping that long line of energy through the body, we're gonna start to send those right toes back behind. And we're gonna keep toes on the ground. So again, feeling that sense of grounding, feeling that really active movement in that back leg. So pressing out through the heel, that hamstring is pressing up towards the sky. You have the option to stay here if this feels good. If you want a little more, left arm's gonna start to reach forward. So as you get here, making sure that you've not kind of banana backed yourself. So still keeping that core engaged, feeling that length from fingertips to heel. One more breath here. We'll bring that hand back down. You can keep the toes on the mat, or maybe you start to fly that back foot. Option to stay, or with our exhale, rounding the back, hugging that knee in towards the chest, and then pressing it right back out. We'll move through this a couple times here. Finding that little crunch, pressing it out. One more crunch here. Nice long reach. And then we'll bring those toes back down, bring that knee back to meet the other. Settling back into that nice strong table. We're gonna start to send those left toes back behind us. Pausing here, finding that sense of length through that back foot, pressing out through the heel. Option to stay, or right arm can reach forward. Again, checking in with the core, hugging that belly button up towards the spine. We'll bring that hand back down. Maybe those toes stay down on the mat. Maybe you fly that foot. And then we're gonna find those crunches. So exhale, rounds the back, hugs that knee in. Inhale, presses it out. One more time, hugging it in. Kicking it out. Two more crunches, just like that. Pressing that foot back out, toes are gonna come down, and then just bringing that knee to meet the other, finding that tabletop. We're gonna start to tuck the toes, and then pressing the hips up and back, down dog. Settling in here for just a couple breaths. Maybe you bend into the knees or walk it out. Any little movements to kind of warm up the body in this shape. Feeling that connection of hands pressing down into the mat, heels pressing towards the back of the room, back of the mat. We're going to start to send that right foot up and back. Any way you want to get it there, we're stepping it forward. We're going to plant that back knee. Left hand's going to stay down on the mat here. Right hand's going to reach all the way up to the sky. This is a lot in the shoulders. You can also bring that right hand to the thigh. And then we'll bring that hand down. We're going to bring it inside that right foot and then start to open up that left hand to the sky. One more breath here. We'll bring that hand back down. Both hands, one hand on either side of the foot here. Feeling really strong in the legs, we're reaching the hands all the way up to the sky. And then we'll bring hands down around the foot. Lifting that back knee, stepping it back, down dog. We're gonna roll up onto those tiptoes. Exhale, presses heels down and back. Moving through that a couple times here. You can keep that movement, or maybe you roll forward to plank. Exhale, sends hips up and back. And then we'll all come to meet in our down dog. Left foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward. Planting that back knee. Right hand's gonna stay inside the left. Left hand reaches up to the sky. Again, same option. Maybe that hand comes to the thigh. It's a little too much on the shoulders. Thinking length through the whole upper part of the body and the arms here. We'll bring that hand down inside that left foot. Right hand to the sky. Hand comes down. Lifting that back knee. Stepping it back, down dog. This time we're all gonna roll forward to our plank. Knees are gonna drop. Heart pulls forward, elbows bend straight back as we lower. Big shrug of the shoulders here. Feeling that connection of tops of the feet pressing down into the mat. Maybe you pop up onto fingertips or float the hands here. We'll roll right back down. Pressing to table, tucking toes, lifting hips, down dog. We're gonna take a nice deep bend of the knees and then just taking a little stroll to the top of the mat. Keeping that bend in the knees, slowly rolling all the way up. Once you're there, nice big reach. Exhale, hands, heart center. Inhale, nice big reach. And we're gonna pause here. So same as we did in our seated shape. Maybe you find that idea of those Mickey monkey bars. So feeling that sense of kind of hanging from something. Feeling that connection of feet into the mat. And that length through the whole body here. We'll start to press palms together, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Folding forward. Inhale, reaches all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time, just like that. Inhale, nice big reach. Folding forward. Halfway lift. Folding forward. Inhale, reaches all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms reach up. Finding that fold. Halfway lift. Folding forward. Right foot stays, left foot steps back. We're going to stay up in that high lunge, so up on the toes if that's comfortable. Feeling really solid through the feet here, reaching all the way up, hands to the sky. And just taking a moment to pause. So again, finding that length through the upper part of the body, feeling that active sense in the legs here. We're going to inhale, straighten that front knee, finding that bend. As we inhale and straighten, arms are going to fly out just a little bit. As we exhale and bend the knee, we're finding that little hug and rounding of the back. One more time, inhale to lift. Just a little balance challenge this morning. Switching the arms as you find that little hug and wrap. Reaching back up. We'll keep those arms lifted as we start to bend into that knee. Hands come down around the foot, any way you want, stepping it back, down dog. We'll all move through that vinyasa one more time here together. If you want to skip the vinyasas this morning, you can always stay in down dog. You can drop to table or child's pose. If you're wanting a little work, but wanting to feel kind of connected to everything, you can also just breathe and plank if that is calling to you. If not, we'll move forward to plank. Knees can stay lifted or you can drop them. Heart pulls forward, elbows bend back. Taking the version of a back bend that feels right to you. Maybe that's a little baby cobra, maybe it's more. And then we'll send hips up and back, down dog. Pausing here in the breath for a moment. If it makes sense, left foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward. Getting settled in the feet here, feeling that activation in the legs. We'll reach all the way up, high lunge. Settling in to this shape for a moment. We're going to inhale, lift. Exhale, bends that knee. Next time as you lift, arms reach out a little bit. And then as we bend, we're wrapping around, finding that little hug. Reaching out. One more time, switching the arms. Reaching up. Keeping those arms lifted as you bend into that knee. Hands come down around the foot, stepping it forward, forward fold. Nice deep bend to the knees here. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows, letting everything hang out. And then we'll release the elbows. Inhale reaches all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, nice big reach. Pausing for a breath, feeling that length. Folding forward. Halfway lift. Folding forward. Right foot stays, left foot steps back. We're going to plant that back heel. Coming on up, warrior one. Just for a breath, again, feeling really connected to the floor in this pose. And then we're just gonna open it up, warrior two. So we're gonna pause here for a moment. I want you to bring your attention into this front leg. So feeling that length through the inner part of the thigh from groin to kneecap. So that knee is pressing towards the outer edge of the foot. Sometimes when we get into this shape, this knee wants to roll in. So see if you can just keep it lengthening through that inner thigh as that back foot is really solid, pressing through the inner and outer blades of that foot. So feeling connected through the legs here, feeling like a very solid foundation. Arms are going to reach nice and long. We'll flip that front palm, finding our reverse. Keeping that awareness of that inner thigh, lengthening out. Coming forward, forearm to thigh. Maybe that top arm stays straight up. Maybe you reach it forward. Bringing it back. We're going to flow through these shapes a couple times. So finding that reverse. Finding your extended side angle. But again, letting the focus not be what the upper part of the body is doing, but what the legs are doing. If that inner thigh is lengthening out. One more time, finding that reverse. Finding that extended side angle. Bringing it back up, warrior two. Hands are going to come down around the foot, stepping it back, down dog. 5 breaths, your choice. Maybe you move through that vinyasa. Maybe you plank it. Maybe you pause for your morning coffee or beverage of choice. Choosing what you need, leaving what you don't. And then we'll all settle back into our down dog. If it makes sense, the left foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward. Planting that back heel, coming on up, warrior one. Pausing for a breath. And then we're going to open it up, warrior two. So same thing on this side. Can you lengthen through that inner thigh, for that knee to kind of point or have the intention of moving towards the pinky side of that foot, and then planting firmly through this back leg. Finding that nice, strong foundation here. Arms reach nice and long. We'll find that reverse. Coming forward, extended side angle. And again, just moving through these shapes with your breath. If one is just feeling extra dreamy, maybe you hang out for a bit, and that's okay. Bringing that focus and intention back to that inner thigh. One more time to our reverse. Finding that extended side angle. Bringing it back, warrior two. Hands come down around the foot. We're just going to step that back foot forward. Forward fold. Nice deep bend to the knees here. Slowly rolling all the way up. Nice big reach. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms reach up. Again, finding that pause, finding that kind of hanging out sensation. We're going to bring the weight over into that left foot. Right knee is going to come up. So you have the option to keep the arms lifting up towards the sky for that length. If you'd prefer to bring hands to heart center, that's also an option. So just kind of finding that moment of balance here. And then we're gonna start to send that foot back behind. We're stepping all the way back, warrior one. Nice big reach, hands to the sky. And then opening it up, warrior two. So again, settling in to that warrior two shape. If you have your block or prop, whatever you chose handy, just make sure it's in a reachable distance. I'm gonna flip around to face you all. So warrior two, we've been here before, checking in with what that inner thigh is doing, feeling that nice strong foundation. We're gonna inhale and lift, warrior two. Finding that reverse, coming forward, forearm to thigh, extended side angle. So I want to have you keep this top arm reaching straight up. Again, if the shoulders get kind of cranky, you can bring hand to hip as an option. So if you're comfortable here, if this is happy, stay here. If you're wanting to find a little bit more depth to the shape, you can start to reach that left hand inside the leg any amount. So that's what this block is for, or this prop that you have. If you need a little extra help in this shape, you can choose a version that makes sense to you. What I want you to focus on when you're here, whatever you're choosing to do in this shape, is that lengthening of the inner thigh and this sense of lengthening through both sides of the body. So sometimes when we get into this really deep extended side angle, this inside side starts to crunch up. So keeping that idea of length and lift as you settle into this shape. We'll start to bring it back, forearm to thigh, bringing it up, warrior two. Hands are gonna come down around the foot, stepping it back, down dog. Again, 5 breaths, your choice. Choosing what you need, leaving what you don't. We'll settle back into that down dog. The left foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward. Coming on up into that high lunge. And you can keep the arms reaching up. You can bring hands to heart center. We're starting to shift that weight forward, and that right knee is coming right up into the heart. Back where we started. And then both feet on the ground. Inhale, nice big reach. Finding that length and reach through the fingertips here. Hands can stay lifted if that feels nice and easy, or hands can come to heart. We're going to shift weight into the right foot. Left knee comes up. Settling in for a breath, finding that balance. And then we're going to send that foot back behind. Stepping into that warrior one. Nice big reach. And then we'll open it up, warrior two. So again, if you have that block handy or that prop, just making sure it's within reachable distance. We're going to settle into this warrior two shape, checking in with that inner thigh. We'll find our reverse. Coming forward, forearm to thigh, extended side angle. So we're all going to start here, settling into this shape, feeling the sensations, feeling how it feels. Again, having that awareness around the inner thigh and the length through both sides of the body here. So you have the option to stay. If you want to go a bit deeper, you can start to reach that hand down. So again, maybe you find a prop to help find that length. Whether you're using a prop or the hand is just coming down to the mat, feeling a little bit of resistance between that right shin or calf into that right forearm. So a little resistance between arm and leg in this shape. And if you're using the prop or hands on the ground, we'll bring it back to thigh, bringing it back, warrior two. Hands are gonna come down around the foot, stepping it back, down dog. Finding a vinyasa if you want it. We're all gonna meet in our child's pose for a couple breaths, sending the hips back, allowing the head to come to rest on the floor or the hands or the forearms. Just checking in with your breath, checking in with the intention or focus that you have for your practice. And we'll start to press into the hands, tucking toes, lifting hips, down dog. Nice. I almost skipped our little moment of balance. We're not going to do that. We're going to send that right foot up and back, bringing it forward, coming all the way up into that lunge. So same options. Hands can stay reaching. You can bring hands to heart center. And then we're going to find that momentum forward, floating that knee right up into the heart. And then both feet on the ground. We don't want to leave a side out and have it be sad. Inhale, nice big reach. Pulling those elbows apart. Maybe high-fiving your buddies if you have a yoga partner this morning. Reaching back up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, nice big reach. Folding forward. Halfway lift. Folding forward. Right foot stays, left foot steps back. Planting that back heel. We're coming on up, warrior one. Opening it up, warrior two. We're going to inhale and lift. Warrior two. Finding that reverse. Coming forward, forearm to thigh. Maybe that top arm reaches forward. Coming right back up, warrior two. Hands are going to come to heart. We're just going to turn all the toes so that feet are parallel here. Hands can come to the hips if that's happy and makes sense. And then from the hips, we're going to start to find that fold forward. Once you're there, maybe the hands come down to the mat. So you get to choose what this looks like. Maybe you bend into the knees, side to side, maybe fingertips reach between the legs. Maybe you just hang out. And then wherever you're at, we're going to start to bring hands back up to the hips, slowly rising all the way up. We're just going to turn our left toes to face the back of the mat. So we're just settling into warrior two, facing the other direction. If we were in person together, this is usually a back row person's worst fear, because I'm a back row person, so I get it, because now you're in the front. But at home, you're in the same place you've always been, so it's fine. Finding that warrior two. We're going to inhale and lift. Warrior two. Finding that reverse. Coming forward, forearm to thigh, extended side angle. We'll bring it right back up, warrior two. Hands are going to come to heart again, turning those toes to be parallel. Hands will come to the hips. We're going to find that fold forward one more time. This time, hands are just going to come straight down from the shoulders, pressing into the hands, finding that little halfway lift. Crown of the head reaches forward. And then folding nice and deep here. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, halfway lift, folding forward. Hands are going to sneak up to the hips, slowly rising all the way up. Turning those right toes to face the front again, warrior two. Hands come down around the foot, and we're just stepping that back foot forward, forward fold. Nice deep bend to the knees, grabbing opposite elbows, letting everything hang out here. We'll release the elbows. With our inhale, nice big reach. Exhale, hands to heart. So before we head into this next little sequence, just making sure that you have your prop of choice just up at the top of your mat. And if you have it up there, maybe having it on its tallest side. So whether that's a block or you're using your paper towel roll or water bottle, just having it nice and tall at the top. So we're going to take a nice big reach, feeling that length and lift, that hanging out sensation. Shifting weight into that left foot, right knee's coming up. Pausing here for a moment. And then we're going to send that foot all the way back, stepping into that warrior one. And then opening it up, warrior two. Again, checking in with that inner front thigh. Can you lengthen it out so that knee is pointing towards the outer edge of the foot? We're going to find that reverse. Coming back, warrior two. We're going to start to, with intention, start to straighten that front knee. Arms are still reaching long. Tilting a little forward here, and then we're settling in to our triangle. Maybe you use a prop if you want a little extra support, that's an option. This top hand can always come to the hip as long as the heart is rotating open here. One more breath wherever you're at. We'll start to bend into that knee, bringing it back, warrior two, finding that reverse. Hands are going to come down around the foot, stepping it back, down dog. You choose 5 breaths. Maybe you move through that vinyasa. Maybe you hang out in down dog, table, or child's pose. We'll settle into our down dog. If it makes sense, left foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward, planting that back heel, coming on up, warrior one, opening up, warrior two. So we're coming into a few options here, some of which we've already done, some of which might be new. Always the option to skip. So you can come into your extended side angle, and that can be with a prop with that lay arm reaching down. You can settle in to your triangle pose as another option. If you're wanting a little bit more, wanting to play a little bit here, we're going to find a little bend in that knee, walking that back foot in just a little, finding that tall prop that you have. So that left hand kind of on a diagonal is reaching towards that prop. Maybe you start to float that back leg. So coming into this half moon. If you fall out, that's fine. Find it again. Maybe you settle into something else. Making sure to breathe. Feeling that sense of being grounded through that standing leg. If you're in that half moon, we'll just gently set that foot back down, settling back in to extended side angle. Finding that reverse. Maybe you straighten that front knee. Warrior two. Hands are going to come down around the foot, lifting up onto those back toes. And we're just stepping it forward. Forward fold. Nice deep bend to the knees here. Letting everything hang out, recoup. Inhale, nice big reach. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms reach up. Pausing here. We'll start to shift weight into that right foot. Left knee comes up. So again, finding a moment of pause, finding that lift and lengthen. We'll start to send that left foot back behind us, stepping into that warrior one, and then opening it up, warrior two. Finding our reverse. Warrior two. With intention, we're going to start to straighten that front knee. Arms are staying nice and long. Start to reach those right fingertips forward, settling in to that triangle pose. So same options. Maybe you use your prop right inside that foot. That top hand can come to the hip. So again, thinking length through both sides of the body here, feeling that sense of openness through the heart. One more breath wherever you're at. We'll start to bend into that knee, coming back up. Warrior two. Finding that reverse. Hands are going to come down around the foot, stepping it back. Down dog. Maybe you move through that vinyasa, maybe you don't. We'll all settle back into our down dog. Right foot's going to reach up and back, stepping it forward. Planting that back heel, coming up, warrior one. And then we'll open it up, warrior two. So again, all the options apply, making sure those props are at the front of your mat if you're wanting to use them. We'll find a reverse. And then you can settle in to that extended side angle with forearm on thigh or reaching down. Maybe you come into your triangle pose. Again, props are optional. If you want that half moon on this side, walking that back foot in a little, feeling that kind of diagonal reach through the body. So finding your prop or your whatever you're using, and then start to lift up onto that standing leg. Feeling that openness through the body, feeling that length through both sides. Making sure to breathe. Again, if you fall out, shake it off. Find it again, or maybe settle into something new or different. If you're in that half moon, start to bring it back. We'll all settle into that extended side angle. Finding that reverse. Maybe you straighten that front knee. Hands are going to come down around the foot, lifting up onto those back toes, and we're just stepping it forward, forward fold. Nice deep bend to the knees here. Inhale reaches all the way up. Pausing again for the last time, feeling that length and lift. Feeling rooted through the heels and the feet. Hands are going to come to heart. Inhale, nice big reach. Folding forward. Halfway lift. Folding forward. Bending the knees a lot here. We're just going to step it all the way back into that down dog. Last vinyasa if you want it. We're all going to settle into child's pose. Taking what you need, leaving what you don't. And we'll start to just press up, walking the hands back towards the body. We're going to come down into a comfortable seat. So settling in. Don't know about the rest of you, but my mat always gets a little weird on carpet. Just shift it back a bit. So settling into our nice comfy seat here. We're going to send the left foot out nice and long, keeping that right knee bent here. And then hands are just going to come one kind of inside, one on the outside, turning the torso towards those left toes. So you have the option to stay nice and tall here. If this feels like enough, you can hang out. If you're wanting a little bit more, we're going to fold forward, but I want you to think length, like we found when we were standing, keeping both sides of the body really long. So maybe that means that your hands walk forward a little and you just pause here. And you can keep this nice and still and quiet if you're happy. If you want it to be a little bit more dynamic, with each inhale, you can find a little lift and lengthen. And each exhale, maybe you fold any amount more. Keeping that left foot active, toes reaching up towards the sky. We're going to be here for 2 more breaths. And we'll just start to walk the hands back in towards the body. Nice big reach of the arms to the sky. And then we're going to twist towards that right knee and then just dropping it on in to this twist. Making sure both the sit bones are planting evenly down into the mat. And then we'll reach right back up, hands to heart. We're just going to switch the legs. So bringing that left knee to be bent, right toes reaching out. And then just gently twisting the torso towards those right toes, keeping the body nice and tall and long here. And then option to maybe find that fold forward. So same thing here, feeling that length and lift through the upper part of the body as you find this fold. You can keep it nice and still and easy. Or if you want that kind of dynamic movement, inhale finds a little lift and lengthen. Exhale folds any amount more. Settling in for a few breaths, keeping those toes pressing up towards the sky, keeping that leg really active here. One more breath wherever you're at. We'll walk those hands in, nice big reach up towards the sky, and then just twisting towards that knee. Hands will drop down. Making sure the sit bones are pressing evenly into the mat. Nice big reach, hands to the sky, hands to heart center. We're just gonna bend in both the knees here and just slowly, gently make our way all the way down to the mat. Once you're there, hugging the knees in towards the chest. Maybe a little movement side to side here. We're gonna plant the feet on the mat. That left ankle is gonna cross over that right knee, finding this kind of figure four shape. And we're gonna come into this stretch a little differently than we normally do. So hands can come out into a T shape, or you can find those cactus arms if that's more comfortable. And if you're happy where you're at here, you can stay. If you want a little bit more depth to this shape, then you're just gonna start to use that right leg to press the legs in towards the chest. So typically we reach with the hands and hug the legs in, but I want this to be really kind of natural in the body. So just using the intention of the legs to press those legs in towards the body here. Keeping the head, neck, and shoulders nice and loose and connected to the mat. And then if those legs are pressed in, we'll just bring that foot back down to the mat and bring that left leg down to meet it. Same thing other side. So right foot crosses over that knee. Pausing here for a moment and just kind of feeling settled in this shape where you're at. And then with the power of that left leg, start to bring the legs in towards the body. So each side of this is going to be a little different. The hips can be more or less sensation, and that's okay. Maybe this one isn't quite as deep as the other, and that's okay too. But again, just settling into the version that feels right, making sure the head, neck, and shoulders are easy. One more breath wherever you're at. We'll gently start to bring that foot down, releasing that foot down to the ground. And then we're just gonna gently come all the way out into our child's, or not our child's pose, our corpse pose, our Shavasana. So maybe the hands come down to the sides, really taking up space in this final pose, letting the feet roll out a bit, and just taking your time to settle in. So if that means a sweatshirt or a blanket, or maybe a pillow, anything that you need to get kind of comfy and cozy here. And as you settle into this shape, we're going to come back to those nice big breaths that we started our practice with. Inhaling fully, filling up the belly with air. Opening the mouth, letting it go. And taking as many of those breaths as you need to allow yourself to settle into this stillness and this shape. So whether you're still breathing out things that you've been carrying from the week, or just a nice big exhale to have made it to Saturday, to your yoga mat. And then just allowing the body to settle into its easy rhythm of breath. Taking a few moments to just reflect on that intention that you set for your practice. Were you able to find a sense of being grounded? Were you able to release all of the anxieties and feelings and emotions from the week and use the breath to really be in the moment, in the poses? Did this practice allow you to kind of reset or recharge to head into your weekend, into the week ahead? We'll start to just deepen the breath and the body here, kind of resisting the urge to get things moving and get things going, but kind of being present. So, still being in the breath in this moment, just kind of slowly waking the body up, re-inviting it back into the space. Finding little movements in fingers and toes, maybe bending into the knees, taking some time to roll to either side. And then, as you're ready, making your way to a nice, comfy seat. And once you're there, just settling back into that nice, still seat that we started our practice. Maybe hands come to the knees. Maybe you find that half and half with the hands, or hands are up towards the sky, whatever you're wanting to invite into the rest of your day. We'll start to bring palms together in front of the heart. I want to thank you all so much for sharing this celebratory, sunshiny Saturday with me. I'm grateful to share this space and this moment with you, and just happy to be here and do yoga. Yay. The light within me honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Awesome. Well, cheers, everyone, to a very happy Saturday. Again, just thank you so much for sharing space with me. I deeply appreciate it. As always, we welcome any donations that you're willing to give. Let me just creepy crawl up to the screen. Yay, Debbie, I'm glad you made it. Yes, Pam, that is your spider plant, baby. That I strategically placed. Thank you for being here and have a great Saturday. Again, just thank you all so much. As always, we will be here every Saturday morning to share practice with you. I'll be teaching the live stream on Monday night. So if you're needing some Monday reset, I will be here with the plants to do that for you. But again, just thank you so much and have a beautiful, beautiful Saturday. Cheers, all.